Greetings. The importance of quality books for children to read being available in classrooms and schools was most brought to my attention by a little girl who would ignore the various toys during her breaks or while waiting for her parents and gravitate toward the shelves containing a variety of books. She would sit there quietly, flipping through the pages, studying the pictures and the short phrases of English text accompanying them. In her own spare time, she was able to increase her education in a way that to her seemed not like school, but a pastime she enjoyed. Good children's books will ignite the imagination, prepare children for the realities they may face in the world, inspire virtue, and whet one's appetite for learning more by triggering curiosity. Although books should be chosen that fit the reading level of the given age group, higher levels should be included for those who can and wish to go beyond. In general, they should be bright, colorful, relatable, interesting, and fun. One should always look for books that are not mere entertainment, but teach the child morals, histories, cultures, and skills. Although many books have ignited controversy for petty reasons, such as that they make someone uncomfortable despite being historically accurate, one should avoid books that seem to encourage a lack of morals. Do recognize the difference between books encouraging bad character traits and vices, and those showing how children can cope with them and overcome them. An example of this is Where the Wild Things Are. This book has been criticized because it shows a child being angry and nasty to those around them, but it does not encourage this behavior. What it entails is that the child goes to his room and imagines a world whereby he is a king of monsters. In this world, he acts out in all the wild ways he wishes. Eventually, he grows tired of this fantasy and goes to the kitchen to eat dinner. This book merely recognizes that there are children dealing with negative issues and offers them a way out. The way out is a way that resonates with children. The way out is imagination. Through imagination, the child finds a means of de-stressing themselves, which is of course the right way to deal with negativity rather than verbally abusing one's parent or physically abusing their dog. What this book is addressing is Freud's defense mechanism called displacement, whereby one ends up lashing out on those they love because they have not found or even looked for a positive and constructive means of dealing with pent-up emotions or unresolved issues. Certainly, many a child can relate to having anger, if not all of them, but few books address this, which is why it remains among the most popular of picture books for kids to this day. Anger is universal, not culturally specific, so it is good to address it, for universal issues are befitting for all cultures in a book. Although this book only depicts one child, every child can relate to it regardless of race or culture. What teacher has not had a child get angry during class and act out in an undesirable manner? A book such as this can prevent such occurrences when children learn to use their minds to overcome whatever upsets them. In terms of culture, more books address this than one may initially realize, albeit indirectly. Every book, and there are many, depicting different species of animals interacting with one another indirectly showcase the importance and value of collaborating with other people despite their differences. That said, one can choose books written not just from different cultures, but different eras, or books that specifically depict children of various cultures interacting with one another. There is more demand today for access to books online. A quick search will provide one with a multitude of sources to choose from if they are willing to purchase them. In order to meet the needs of all students and even teachers, I have focused on where one may find books available for free to download or use online. The aforementioned book, Where the Wild Things Are, is one that I was able to find with relative ease. Better than that, I found one website that includes not just free books, but a book creation tool. With this, a teacher can make their own book specifically tailored according to their own perspective of what a book should contain and to their students' interests and needs. Finally, interactive books should always be sought after. There are fewer available, and perhaps many are more expensive. However, children learn through their senses, and the more their senses are involved, the better the understanding they will accrue. Further, an interactive book is far more fun and interesting to the child. Scratch and sniff books are those that have a little sticker that releases a scent when scratched, A great example of such a book is one that teaches the names of fruits so that children not only get to see the text of the word and a photo of the fruit, but they may also scratch it so that they can smell what the fruit smells like. Another type of interactive book is one that is touch-sensitive, allowing the student to hear sounds accompanying the text. Unfortunately, scratch and sniff books need to be purchased, as there is no present way that a computer or phone can release scent that we know of. Books including sounds can be found online, and this is a good example of one of them. Finally, there are books written in the pick-a-path style, whereby readers reach a point where they must make a choice for the protagonist and turn to the page corresponding to the choice they have made. These books are great fun and allow the child to have control over the story and realize the importance of making good choices to avoid undesirable consequences. They also tend to be read more than once, since the child wants to discover how the story would have unfolded had they made different choices along the way. One can find tools online to create their own pick-a-path stories, and one of the links provided specify easy ways for children to collaborate and make their own. The divided groups can then present their book to the class or act it out in a play, while the observing students can not just witness, but vote upon the choices as they come up. Although I have discussed some books already, and have praised the genre, I have chosen one to go into more depth that is not interactive. I am not sure if it is my absolute favorite, but it is one that I read as a child and never forgot. It is called The Bremen Town Musicians, and was originally written by the Grimm brothers. The specific version I found free online was written by Virginia Zamaro, with the target audience being ages ranging from 4 to 8 years old, perfectly designed for early childhood education. The art that accompanies it complements the text very well, illustrating the most crucial point described in each section of text. One can understand the general gist of the story just by looking at the images. It begins with a donkey who has become old and is mistreated by his owner. He decides to run away to become a musician. Upon his journey, he meets animals of different species who are also being abused, and they decide to join him with an instrument they can play. Afterwards, they find a house with robbers, and together spook the robbers and choose to live happily forever after in the house, abandoning their quest to become musicians. What I like most about this book, despite its lack of interactive features, possibly its only weakness, is how much a child can be prepared for life after reading it. It shows that one can change their life and fate if they are determined to do so, and they need not, and ought not, be resigned to an unfair situation. It encourages them to follow their hearts and dreams. All of this is depicted in the donkey's precedent, followed by the other animals. It shows how just one person can make a movement of positive change. Unloved at home, as unfortunately some children are, the donkey goes off and finds love, friendship, and family through a compilation of other species, forming a culture of their own. Children, too, may find more love in people of other races and cultures than they may have in their hometown. The value of a multicultural perspective is thus instilled. Although the animals decide to abandon their musical aspirations, they have all found what they sought most: a kind, loving home among those they can call family and friends. Alone they may have achieved nothing, but together, against all the odds of the world, they not only found a home, but liberated it from evil, represented by the robbers who sought not to give, but only to take, in contrast to them. They have not only made a better life for themselves, but made a better world for all. As I have expressed, this book hits on a range of crucial points I described as being of desire in one's choice of children's books. This book impacted me when I was a child, and so I have chosen to focus on it with the expectation that it will continue to impact others. This story can be incorporated in the classroom in a variety of fun and interactive ways. Each student can be given a character of the book to read so that it is read together as a class. They can make the sounds that would be included if it were a sound interactive book. The teacher could play an audio for the sounds that each animal might make in the story. After reading it several times, the class can go further and enact an entire play of the book where parents can be invited to watch. If parents are encouraged to read the book with their child at home, they too will have more interest in the play, knowing in advance what it might entail. Children can dress up as the animals in the book, and can even innovatively alter the story if they choose, to give their parents a surprise on their twist and ingenuity.